Good evening, everybody. This is Chris from Country Boy Cryptids, and we got a special guest tonight, Mr. Les Odell. He's an author, and also he's got an expo coming up this Saturday. I'll hand it over to him and let him throw the details out there because I don't know the exact times and everything. But yeah, so go ahead, take it away, Les.
Yeah, it's the West Virginia Case Paranormal Expo. It's at the Cheat Lake Volunteer Fire Department. They have a hall upstairs. This is the fourth year, not consecutive fourth year because of COVID, but this is our fourth year in. We'll have 4 speakers this year. Usually have 5 or 6, but that I wanted to whittle them down a little bit because it gives more time for the vendors and the speakers when they have people there. Because when I had like 5 or 6, it was because I have to have it in the same hall, and
Yeah.
it gets kind of and the vendors get distracted and or people for the. But yeah, there'll be 4 speakers. There's Ron Howes, Christine Solstice, Robert Solomon, and Bill Rigby. Uh, Ron will probably be talking about his speech. His presentation starts at 11:30. Oh, and again, the whole expo starts at 10 and usually runs. Well, we got it scheduled for 6, but it's usually about winding down around 5 o'clock or so. Uh, Ron is a veteran, and he has a Facebook group called Believe in Yourself. He usually speaks about um, his Facebook group, Believe in Yourself, because he when I met Ron, it was a few years ago, and I was in an event, and here comes this fella. Hey Mason, hey, go get Daddy's glasses for me, please. Here comes this fella dressed as Sasquatch, Bigfoot, riding a Harley.
Oh my God.
So he won't be doing that this year. He probably won't be doing it tomorrow, this Saturday, because it's an inside event. Um, but he uses that as a veteran, and because he's with the legions and stuff, to help promote the um, veteran suicide awareness, prevention
Oh,
awareness.
that's cool.
That's what he does, and so he'll be speaking on that and how he that and Christine, I can't remember exactly what she's talking about, but she's an author. She is always has interesting subjects to talk about. Robert Solomon will be talking, I think, on ancient America and giants, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that'll be cool.
And he does really good. I've seen him speak a few times. He actually spoke last year at the event. He does a really good job. He's really thorough. Does a lot of research for his speeches. Bill Rigby will be talking about Bigfoot. He'll be talking about his experience he had in Ohio, most likely, and he'll just be talking about his research and with his group Unexplained. Or shoot, I'm sorry, Chris. I'm kind of.
I know you look tired, buddy. I know it's a lot on your mind this weekend.
Agents of the Unexplained. I'm sorry. Bill's going to knew I did that, but yeah, he does a lot of cool stuff. He gets out there. He's boots on the ground, and he had an experience last year in Salt Fork. My computer's just now starting to do weird stuff, come up online. That's why I'm on. But he had his experience at Salt Fork State Park last year, and ever since then he's been like most folks that has had a exciting one of those things. He's ate up with trying to find. But Bill's a really great guy, and he'll be. Well, let me tell you, Christine will be speaking. Ron will be speaking 11:30. Christine will be speaking at 1 because I'm giving it's about an hour for each presentation and half hour in between to get the other presenters set up.
Yeah.
Robert will be at 2:30, I think is what I got him at, and Bill will be at 4. So
Right.
the speakers will still be there, up till 5. And come out and you can, talk to them. All of them are cool folks. Tell them your experiences. They all are very, very interested in everything paranormal, especially Bill. Um, Ron is really into Bigfoot. Robert is really into everything strange, weird. He loves. I know he really loves the ancient history and stuff. He's really into that. He actually
Hmm.
has a podcast. He has a podcast called This Uncanny Earth, um, which is really, really a really good podcast. Um, and Christine, she is, like I said, she's an author. She's also an investigator. Um, but yeah, she's really cool folks. And the other party is the vendors. Right now, we got somewhere between, because I know we've had a couple had to cancel on us. It's somewhere between 25 and 30, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow,
But
that's a lot of vendors.
I have to look at the list again. Yeah, last year we had 33, and it was really cool. But this year we try to keep it around 30, and I think we had 2 or 3 that had to cancel. So it's going to be somewhere between 25 and 30. Uh,
That's a nice group of vendors then.
but there will be authors. There's investigators. There's a couple paranormal groups. We'll have a couple psychic mediums there. And some odd and end stuff, really cool crafty stuff that folks do. And we'll have a little kitchen that'll have, at lunchtime, we'll have pizza and stuff for sale. We didn't have a full kitchen last year. We didn't either because we couldn't find somebody that would run it for us instead of us doing it. And it's just too much for us to try to run it and the event. So
Yeah, yeah.
what we do is just sell pizza, and,
Hey,
and, and drinks, for folks that want to have a snack here and there.
right, right. That's the way to do it. I mean, it sounds like it's going to be fun. I can't wait to get there because this year I'm actually going to get to come. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I'm glad you get to come. I mean, last year I knew you couldn't make it, and I was kind of hopeful you could. So this year, I'm glad you're coming.
I got everything ready. I even went and got my beard trimmed today, and the wife cut my hair and my beard. Well, tell
Mine,
us about. Go ahead, Les.
mine's a mess right now. I just got out of the shower. I didn't get a chance to oil it up or anything. So
That's the way with me. Just got I showered and stuff. Just got it. I gotta get some conditioner in it. Tell us about this new book you got. I ain't got a chance to get it. Hopefully, you got some copies there. I can get one off of you when I.
I'll have a
Uh,
couple. I have a couple because I wasn't able to get any in,
I hear you.
and I have a book signing next Sunday, the 15th, up
Oh,
at the
really?
at the Meadowbrook Mall at the Gold Comic Book Store. I think it's what's called Gold. It's right in it. It's right beside that brand new Basco's or Bosco's or whatever, how you say that they just put in the Meadowbrook Mall, and
Uh
I'm
huh.
going to be signing there. But this is it right here. Old Man of the Mountain, the West Virginia Bigfoot. It's basically a book of Bigfoot tales, Bigfoot stories, encounters that I've collected. Some firsthand, or quite a few firsthand. Some that are just like local stories. Like, let me think. I just seen it here. There's one here called Cubby Wiley's Monster. It's about screams and creature that was seen in a certain area, and they I forget all the details, but I mean it it's things like that. Like I said, firsthand accounts. Let me think. Is the one I wanted to talk about? I know it by heart. Let me see. Make sure I am. Yeah, because you're familiar. You know where Margaret is.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I know you do. Uh, for those that don't, it's right on the Marion County and Harrison County line outside Shinston. And it's in this book, and I can share it with you because, like I said, it's one of them I talk about all the time. Um, in the 70s, I think it was. This guy just got back from Vietnam. Yeah, I talked to him a few years ago, several years ago, and sadly he shared me story, and sadly he's passed away. But at least he shared his story with me, and I was able to record it.
Mm-hmm.
Get it out there or get it on paper. But his family owned a farm up there, Margaret Hollow, and he had, like I said, just got back from Vietnam. His dad had already passed away years ago, and it was just his mom and his older. I think she was the oldest sister. The oldest sister lived with him, and his sister already had a few kids. And when he got back from Vietnam, he stayed there on the farm. And then they would go. His mom and sister would go once a month to do grocery shopping. They'd go down into, I guess, Shinston and whatnot there, or wherever
Yeah.
or somewhere they went. And they go once a month to do their grocery shopping and buy all the household needs. And one day they left, and he was there, or was asked to stay there and watch the kids that were there. And I don't remember how many there were at the time. But one of the boys that was there was a teenager. He was a teenager, a young teenager, probably like my son Jack's age. I think he was right around 12, 13, 14, or 13 years old, somewhere in there, if I remember right. But he was watching them, and all of a sudden the water in the house shut off. It quit, and they had well water.
Uh-huh.
And in the way he described the house to me, it was an old farmhouse, and had one alcove on the back of the farmhouse, and then there was I always use my hands, I'm sorry. And then there was like a old smoke shed or whatever with the root cellar underneath of it off to the one side. Well, on that back corner, that the offshoot of the house is where the door was that went to the cellar, and that's where they had just put in a new pump for the well, was in that cellar.
Yeah.
So he told his nephew, he said, I can't leave the house. Your younger siblings are here. I need you to go check, see why that pump ain't working, and see, I guess, see if the power was on or whatever happened. And his nephew's like, I'm not going down in there. He said, man, you need to go. I'll stay in here at the back door of the house, and I'll watch you go over. You'll be all right. So he said he was standing at the back door, and you could walk through the part of the yard, and there was, like I said, on the corner of the house, there was a few stairs that went down, and that's where the doorways that went into the cellar. As his nephew turned to go down those stairs, the guy tells me, he said, from around the corner, this about 6 or 7 feet off the ground, this red hairy arm reaches around the corner of the house. He said it has hair about like 4 or 5 inches or whatever hanging from the forearm and stuff. And he said it's like a reddish orange color, and it reaches around and it has its hand open and was like he was about to grab his nephew by the top of the head.
Oh my
So
gosh.
he yells at his nephew and he screams at him. And his nephew's like kind of sees out of the corner of his eye what he's screaming about. And the way the stairs went down, the way he told me, there was no railing. It was just a wall that was kind of flush with the ground and a few stairs.
Yeah.
Well, he kind of jumped over that wall and rolled and took off running toward the house. And the arm went back around the house. And as the young boy come up into the house, the other gentleman ran out toward the corner. And when he got to the corner, he said he didn't see anything. There was nothing there. He didn't see anything going through the field or anything. He said, but they both seen this arm come around, to grab his nephew. And,
Oh, wow.
and if you look on the BFRO site, about the same time as that, there was somewhere around the Whetstone area, which is not too far from Margaret. There were reported vocals. There was vocals that had been reported. I mean, it was later on, but these people were hearing these vocals, and then if I'm not mistaken, they talk about some big culvert pipes being thrown or knocked over or something, and they hear these screams.
Yeah,
And
I think you're right. Yeah, yeah. I
uh,
remember reading that one. Yeah.
yeah, it was about the same time frame as when they had that sighting. And like I said, that one's in this book, and I call it the Margaret Monster. A few of them, the stories I gave titles. Some of them are just eyewitness accounts. They're written in like report form, like an investigative report form, like
Yeah.
like what the nearest town was, like this one here, year November, 2018 November, County Nicholas, nearest town Drennan, that kind of format. And that's when I just happened to open up on that one. To me, is one of the most compelling Bigfoot stories and investigations I've ever done. And it has the pictures in here of the investigation. I don't know if y'all can see it. I mean, like I said, I'm on my phone. But it shows the distance of how far they were from this creature when they first seen it. What happened is this gentleman calls me and he said, "Hey, I'm 63 years old. I've hunted in West Virginia all my life. I've been in the woods all my life, and no one," he said, "you could not have told me that Bigfoot existed anywhere in the world, or much less West Virginia." He said, "But now you can't tell me any different." What they were doing is they were driving home. I forget what time it was. It was around 8 o'clock, he said. And as they're driving down this Route 39, from a distance they could see something. What he thought was a bear at first. There's a large gravel spot. Uh-oh, someone's calling me. There's a large gravel spot off to the right, and what he thinks is a bear comes out, on all fours, and it gets into the road, and he slows down, and by the time he gets to where it's at, they're like pretty close. Well, this thing stands up in the middle of the road, and what he told me then, he's like, I knew right then that what I was seeing was not a bear, and he was adamant that it wasn't a bear. And I hear that quite a bit. But one of the things that stuck with me when he called me is he kept saying, when I asked him about a description, he would describe it. But he would also, when I talked to him and his wife, they both would say, we don't remember seeing the feet. And I thought that was pretty interesting. It's just kind of odd that someone would say that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was describing what the head looked like, what the shoulders, how it had a bare, like the chest was kind of bare, the fur or hair, whatever you want, was kind of wet because there's a nearby creek. He thought maybe it come out of the creek, and he actually described the face to me. But anyway, he kept saying, I don't remember seeing the feet. So when I said, okay, my son and I will meet you there. We went down, and we got there. I had talked to them both. I asked his wife, I said, do you mind sketching what you saw? And she said, absolutely. Or not absolutely. She said, yes, I'll do that. And I asked the gentleman, because he told me what he's seen the face. And I carry these little 4x4 pictures of different artist renderings, from all over the place. And I use them as a kind of a lineup for people, either to pick what they saw or pick different characteristics from each different faces to kind of give me a picture. So he did that. He picked the picture, and like I said, I had them separated this time, the drawing and the pictures. And if you see this stuff in the things in the book, I think the drawing's in the book, pretty sure. Make sure. Yeah, the picture and the drawing's in there. You can see this. You can see the actual similarities between the face that he had and the face she drew. But she also drew. But when she drew the thing, she even drew down to right around the knee area. She didn't any further. She did not draw feet, bottom of the legs, or anything. And that just kept nagging at me. Why is that so? And then I was like, okay, something dawned on me. And I said, hey, do you mind? I asked the husband, said, do you mind, in relation to where this thing was in the road, put my son at the edge of the road, and I'll move my car down through here. You stop me where you were in relation to the road in the car. And he's like, yeah. And he didn't realize why I was doing that. And then I pulled down. The first thing I did is I took a picture through the windshield of the car. right at my eye level. And
Mm-hmm.
I got out and I said, I want to show you something. And I showed him the picture, and it's in the book. I said, what do you notice? And you could see his face. It kind of like he was astonished, because then he realized why I did it. He said,
Mm-hmm.
you can't see the feet. You can't see your son's feet. You can't see below his knees or
Right.
below his knees down. So that told me how close they were. They were right around somewhere, well, 8, 10, 12 feet away, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like from him to my son was like 12 feet. From the front of the car to this creature was about 8 feet. And
Wow. They was close.
so they were that close, and that's why that stuck with me. And it's still, for me, is one of the most compelling stories because of that aspect of that story. And like, if that man has been in the woods all his life, like he claims, and he knows what bears, and like I said, he was adamant. He said it wasn't a bear. It wasn't a bear. And they
Yeah.
drew separate to me. She drew what she saw, and he picked the picture what he saw, and to me they're extremely similar. So that's, like I said, that's why I think that's one of the most compelling stories.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it does make sense, if he was that close, yeah, the front of the
Yeah.
car is going to block,
Yep.
the feet and stuff. Yeah,
And
that's awesome as hell.
I've told people that story, and they're still like, and I asked him before I ever left him. I was like, some people are going to tell me or ask me, well, how come you didn't have a picture? And he told me the same thing a lot of people have told me. I was stunned. It never dawned on me to take a picture. A
Right?
lot of people have told me that.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
you would be so. It would probably blow your mind to see something like that. That would probably
yeah,
be the last thing on your mind is to grab your phone and take a picture, or a camera or anything like that.
yeah. I mean, basically, when you see something, I guess it's not supposed to exist, or whether it's Bigfoot, whether it's like maybe a ghost thing or whatever, you kind of go like a shock. You kind of lock up. Some people freeze.
Yeah,
That's what happens. I mean, it's a shock.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just a shock to your brain.
Yeah,
It's like, what am I seeing, and how does this exist? You
right.
know. You been doing anything new? Now, I did see your video where you might have seen something down in a creek, or not a creek. It was a river, but
I don't know what I saw. Um, I was at work. I was heading toward Elkins, and right as you come, it's right where the Randolph County line sign is. Right as you come before you get into Elkins, and
uh
you can look down to see the Taggart River. And every time I go up there, I look up that river because I like to look. I just like the river, to look up at the rocks and everything.
yeah,
And I'm driving, and I look over like I normally do, and for about a second or so, I see something like dark colored standing. What looked like it was standing to me, it looked like it was standing on this big rock in the middle of the river. And I'm like, then it hit me like after I drove by. I was like, what the hell did I just see? So I went up into Elkins, done what I was supposed to do, and I come back, and I went back and turned around. I come back up through there again, and I stopped, and I could see the rock that I knew which one, because you can't miss this rock. It's big long rock. It goes, it's off the bank a little bit on the right hand side, but a good ways off the left hand. But it takes up probably maybe a third of the river or so, and I could see the rock, and there was nothing on it. There was nothing vertical on it. Nothing that could have been like maybe storm debris standing behind it. So I was like, did I just see something? The distance it was away. And some folks like, oh, it's half a mile. The cameras may not pick that up as well. But
right.
when you're looking half a mile straight line down at something with your eye, it's not that hard to see something, and that
Mm-hmm.
and when whatever I seen looked bigger than maybe a fisherman or something. Now I can't say, well, but let's put it this way. I can't say it wasn't a black bear standing up there. I just say it seemed to me to be way bigger than a black bear would be.
Yeah.
And especially once I went back and went down to the river, down to the creek, you know, and kind of got a scale, side of this, scaled out some of the stuff. And it just when I seen it, I was like, wow, did I just see one? And to this day, I still question it. I don't really know if I did,
Uh-huh.
but if I've had an account or a sighting that, but that's the closest thing that I've had so far.
Do you have like an estimation how tall you thought it was, or is it too far away to judge?
I can't judge it from the distance of
Uh-huh.
that, but when I went down, I couldn't get over to the rock
Yeah, I
because of
seen that. Yeah.
yeah. Um, I would say I don't want, I no, it had to be if I was to say from being by the rock and looking over at it and could kind of judge it, it was probably somewhere between 6-7 feet, maybe.
Yeah.
It wasn't that it was super tall. It was like big,
It
very
was
big. And
wide. It was wide.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of wide, you know. And that's more what caught me was how big it was, the girth of it more than the height.
Right. I mean, it could have been very well been. I mean, that's all. I mean, that's a lot of woods down there. I mean, holy
Yeah,
crap. You can go forever. I
and like I
mean,
said, it wasn't a definitive sighting. I can't 100% say I saw one. I mean, it
yeah.
could have been, and it made my eye play trick on me, but I couldn't get anything to I couldn't recreate it anyway when I was driving by, because I've been by there like 4 or 5 times since then, and I always look at the
Yeah.
same spot. It
Yeah.
just yeah.
You definitely seen something. I mean, that's for damn sure. Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, that'll be the way you see one probably when you do see it. It's going to be like something like that. You're
Well,
driving.
I mean, if you follow a lot of the research and a lot of the reports taken from different organizations or different forums and stuff like that, majority of sightings, that's what they are. They're just passing by, roadside sightings or road crossings, and things like that. And it's a big percentage of them. And then you have some folks where you have the argument. Will argue, well, why can't you get a picture of one? Why don't we have a picture of one like when they're doing that? Which,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are some dashboard cams out there. I think Georgia, was there one in Georgia? It was a policeman. They caught it, something on a dash cam, ran across.
Yeah, I think I
But
seen that one. Yeah, but it was like
yeah,
so fast, so you couldn't. I mean,
yeah.
it was like zoom.
But what I tell people, and a lot of other people, that do this, will say, okay, the the average sighting is in somewhere between three to the high end 3 to 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I'll challenge you to, if you're just driving along and you have your phone in the usual place you have it, not out and ready doing whatever. I challenge you to get your phone out, open the app, and take a picture within that 5 seconds.
It's impossible. I don't think you could do it.
It's going to be pretty much damn near impossible.
Yeah, because I
It's just
mean, you got to pick your phone up. You got to, like you said, you got to turn it on, and if you got a lock on it, there's more time. And like you said,
yeah.
you got to go to the phone app, and then you got to point and click. Nah.
Well,
I'd
the
say you'd be lucky.
first thing is you got to react to it and get your phone. And if
Right,
it's any
right.
me being a driver of over the years, I've taken court classes and stuff on defensive driving and stuff. Through a couple of companies I've been, and I remember them telling me the average reaction to going from a gas pedal to a brake pedal, when something happens, is 3/4 of a second to 1 1/4 second. Right then, even if that's the same with you reacting to grab your phone, you've already lost, at least a second,
Yeah, yeah.
grabbing, and if it's 3 seconds long, by the time you open it, it's gone,
Right, right. Yeah, that's for sure. That's gone. You ain't gonna see it no more.
So that's why
Yeah,
a lot of investigators and researchers, will actually drive. They'll drive back roads. That's part of research and investigating. Drive back roads with dashboard cams. Just drive with the cam. I got one in my truck on all the time. When I'm out and driving back roads, I've got one on all the time. Because
yeah,
if majority of the time or majority sightings are roadside crossings and roadsides or road crossings, that's probably the best way you're going to capture them.
yeah, yeah. That's for sure. Yeah, I was flipping through Discovery the other night, and I've seen the new one they have, the new documentary they're having on the one over in Russia, the past, where they found them 9 dead skiers.
Ditloff Pass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really interesting. I was like, wow, check that out. You know what I mean?
There's so many theories on that, and so many people. It was this, it
Oh
was that,
yeah,
it was the creature, it was radiation. But there a lot of it's been explained, or scientifically explained. You gotta dig
yeah,
for it and listen to it, and you know kind of
yeah,
not follow all the conspiracies. Look at all the evidence, most likely. But it is interesting. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, because they was all experienced hikers and stuff. It was,
yeah,
and they did get a picture or something, but you really can't tell. To me, it looks like a guy in a big, like, fur coat. Yeah, not like they was
yeah.
acting like it was a Bigfoot, but someone that was dressed for that weather.
Well, they're talking about they took their clothes off and this and that. And, well, if you look into hypothermia, one of the first things a lot of people going through hypothermia will do is strip their clothes or shoes, because one of the first signs of extreme hypothermia is you get your skin, you get hot. It's like burning hot,
Yeah,
and that sounds weird, but yeah. So you start stripping your clothes off. You're trying to cool off, but it's not. It's actually making it worse.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's for sure. I thank God I never get hypothermia. They said it messes with your mind too. Like
Oh,
your mind will
oh
start
yeah,
playing tricks on you and stuff.
yep,
And plus the high elevation, makes your breathing,
oh
your
yeah.
oxygen
Well,
level.
yep. That and your oxygen level can cause you to hallucinate. Um, I'll tell you what. When I drove cross country, I was I was on Vail Pass and I had to get out. There was snow, and I mean the snow was like in the middle was like 10 feet deep. It was ridiculous. They had the
Oh
roads
wow.
plowed, everything. There was like the rest area. It was covered. It was completely. But I stopped. It was me and another driver, and I remember pulling off from that Vail Pass mount or on the rest area at the top of the mountain. It was like 11,000 some feet, because I went out and stood by the sign, and I walked maybe 100 feet, 150 feet. It was cold, but I'm not used to elevation, and it was rough. You walk,
Yeah, it takes your breath away.
you time breathing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's crazy how that works. It'll mess with you, they say. Wow. So you got the new book. You working on anything else right now?
No, not really. I, I'd like to do a ghost story book. I've got a lot of stories that I've been told over the years, and I got a lot written down. I'd like to do that one time. Maybe, I like short stories. I like short ghost stories, and so I might do
Yeah,
that. I I did this one. I got the West Virginia cryptids one, which I don't know if I got any copies of it right now. Um, and I did one I did all three of them. Mark Randall did the cover for this one. And then the one before this one was West Virginia Cryptids. But I want to tell you the whole title right. Okay, West Virginia Cryptids, a visual guide for traversing the mountain state. That's this one. It's like a little booklet. It's got 11 different cryptids in it from West Virginia. And then
that's cool.
And recently, he did all the artist work. Yeah. Sorry, Chris, I can't talk tonight.
I hear you. I get that way too.
He did artwork in it. It's a full color little book, like this one. Like the Agua from the Mon River, or Agua, however you want to say it. I always said Agua.
I need to get that book.
Pole Gap Monster, which is a regional Bigfoot down in the southern part of the state. So Mark did all the artwork. I did all the research and the little. They're right around 250, 300 words of the story and description of the monsters and cryptids and creatures. And then, since we did one like that, we both agreed, hey, we need, because he lives in Indiana, we should do an Indiana one. So we did an Indiana one. I think it has, I'm trying to remember how many it has. I just got some of those in the mail, but I can't remember exactly how many was in it.
Now, anyway, can you get all?
Huh?
Go ahead, Les.
But anyway, we did a collaboration on that one as well for Indiana, and so I've got 2 West Virginia ones and an Indiana book.
Well, that's cool. Now, where can people get your book at? Is it on Amazon?
All 3 of them on Amazon. Just put in Les Odell, and they all 3 come up.
Okay, for people out there, want to grab one, better get them. I'm sure they're really good. I just ain't had a chance to get one yet. Hopefully, you have one there.
I'll have a few of these. I do know I have a few of these because I just got a couple in, and I still have a few of those. I'll have these in the Indiana one, and I'll have only a couple of these because I like I said, I got a book signing that I bought some for that book signing, and I wasn't able to get the other ones in time for the expo, the extra copies.
I hear you.
But yeah, you can find them on Amazon. Just search up my name, and it pops right up.
Well, that's good to know. And everybody out there, if you guys want one, you know where to go get one. Go on Amazon.
This one here has 60. Trying to remember. I think it has 60 or 65 different stories and reports in it, if I remember right.
Wow, that's a lot. Are you going to be talking at the expo too, or you just let them talk? And
no, I'll be running around like a madman. I'll be introducing where all the vendors are okay. Usually people come up and talk to me about stuff. Helping Jennifer Jennifer will be running the table to get 50-50 tickets. We'll have a raffle on some stuff. Usually the vendors donate an item to be raffled. Then I'll be helping with the kitchen. So I'm usually not able to talk. I'd like to one time, but I'm just not able to.
I got something here that I'll bring to you for the raffle.
Sweet. Thank you.
It says warning, please do not. Well, I can't read. Please do not feed the Sasquatch. I'll bring that, and you can, I'll donate it, and you guys can, and then raffle it off.
Yeah,
I got some stickers too. This is metal too,
Yeah, we'll put it underneath there for the podcast, your name, and
I'll bring a couple of things. That way, it helps you guys out too,
So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll bring a few things down. I handed out a bunch of stickers today at her school, at my daughter's school. They're just little. There's like 500 on a roll, so I cut them down to 5 stickers on each one. Let the teacher pass them out for the kids.
Counselor, not teacher.
If anybody's going to be in the Sutton area next Saturday, I'm between 4 and 6 at the Bigfoot Museum. I'm going to have a little town hall meeting. If you have, for people to come and share like their experiences, if they've had experience or sighting in West Virginia, or if they have evidence they would like to come and share with us, stop by there. Like I said, it's in Sutton. It's 400 4th Street, Sutton, West Virginia. You can't, if you just Google Bigfoot Museum, it'll take you right there, or the Mountain Laurel Country Store. That's where Bigfoot. Google either one of those. And Sutton's not very big in downtown. You can't miss it. You come into Sutton, if you drive straight down the main drag, you're
going to see it.
Yeah, big green building. That's where everything is. But we're going to have like I said, a little town hall meeting there next Saturday on the 14th from 4 to 6. You can come check it out. And I'm kind of having a brain fart on the time, but I think it's November 18th. We're having my friend Brian Seats and Fred Sluga. They're going to be hosting a Bigfoot town hall meetings, one on a Friday, and then like kind of a, I don't want to say expo, like a kind of a meet and greet. We're in speakers and at Cabela's and Wheeling, and I will be speaking there on Saturday on the 18th. I think the 18th is the. I don't think that's the town hall meeting. I think that's the speaking. Well, I can't look on my phone because I'm using my phone. But
I know what you're saying. Yeah, Brian told me something about it there. He posted it a couple of times that they was going to do one up there.
Yeah, they used to do it every year. I forget what they called it, but yeah, they asked me to speak there, so I'll be doing that. And I think that's pretty much the last thing I'm doing this year.
I hear
didn't
you.
do as, yeah, I've already been asked to do 2 events next year, so I'll be doing that, or 3 actually, if you consider the Bigfoot Festival. I'll be back down there again. But I'll be doing 2, one in Ohio, one in Pennsylvania for sure.
Yeah, you're getting busy. You're getting busy already for next year, then.
Yeah, I said it this year. I'm not going to do as much as I did last year because it took away from a lot. I enjoy going out and meeting people and hearing their stories, but I also like to get to it and do my investigating and last year I didn't do as much as I wanted to. This year I'm going to be doing some more. I like to be out when it's colder. So last part of October, November stuff, I'm going to be out somewhere.
Right. I hear you.
Yeah.
I had to take a break. Like you told me, I got burnt out doing show after show after show. I had to take a couple months off and get things together.
Yeah, I told you would.
Oh man, it just got to the point where it was like,
Yeah.
you're getting a hold of people and you're doing this and you're doing that. I finally figured out how to work that Canva app. It's been I got everything figured out now. So
well, earlier this year, I was like, I'm going to step away and I may be just done, and I would go by the end of the year. Well, I still haven't made my decision completely, but I guess I have. I kind of already going to do 2 events next year, but I really enjoy it. But there's certain parts of it I don't enjoy. My favorite part of it is meeting people, talking to people, but there's also other parts that there's just a lot of drama that I don't like to deal with. And
I understand.
But I've met a lot of good people doing this, a lot of good people, and there's going to be several of them at the event this weekend. There are a lot of them folks there that are there are good friends of mine. The folks from Pennsylvania, I consider them I call my Pennsylvania family. They're good folks. The
Yeah,
Fayette
that's
County
for
Bigfoot, the Fayette County Bigfoot Research Project out of Pennsylvania. When there was nobody really doing anything here in West Virginia in my area, they took and said, "Hey, come on up." And I go up into Uniontown and hang out with them, go to their meetings, and go out, here and there with them, and they're really good folks.
Right. You got anything playing with Small Town Monsters next year or anything? Or?
Not right offhand. I just did two YouTube series or YouTube shows with them. Early, a couple months ago. Right now, not at the moment. I mean,
Yeah.
Seth did that. Seth did talk to me, say he's going to come back down to West Virginia again. We're going to do another one somewhere down around Braxton County. I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but and I think I'm not scheduled to do it yet, but Heather did ask me to come and be on her, which is part of Small Town Monsters and Lore podcast again. So I'll be doing that. But as far as shows, right now.
Right. Well, it's getting winter time, all that stuff will slack down a little bit, but it'll pick up again in the spring, That's for sure. Well, Les, I know you're tired, buddy. We'll shut her down here, and yeah, guys, you get a chance, drop out to the show, the West Virginia Case Paranormal Expo.
It's at the Cheat Lake Volunteer Fire Department, which is 408 or 409. I can't remember right off the top of my head. If you Google, sometimes it tells you both, if I'm not mistaken. 408 or 409 Fairchance Road in Morgantown, which is
it's
right
been
off
a
Cheat
while.
Lake.
I had to look it up last night. I'm like, I got to know where I'm going. It's been a while since I've been out that way. And I just looked up Cheat Lake Fire Department, and it gave me directions right there. Looked at the satellite picture. It's a big place.
Yeah, it's a nice place, too. It's really nice inside. But it's pretty easy. You get off Cheat Lake, the Cheat Lake exit there. What is it, exit 10?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
68. Off of 68 if you're going like east. If you're coming from Morgantown, you make a left. That puts you on the brand new four lane, like 43, I think is what it's called, 119 or 40, and it's the first exit. You just get off that very first exit to the right, go to the bottom of the ramp, make a left, go probably 200 yards. You hit 857. You turn left there again, and another 500 or 600 feet. The fire department's on the left.
Right. Yeah, it looked easy to find once I looked it up there, seen a picture of it. Yeah, it was pretty easy. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, and don't forget to go check out Les's books there on what is the name of the new one? The Old Man
of the Mountain, the West Virginia Bigfoot.
Yeah, and you can get all three of his books on Amazon. And what else you got? How do they get a hold of you again? I keep forgetting your email address for.
You can just get on Facebook and find me at W.V. Cryptids and Strange Encounters, or just look up my name, Les Odell. You'll find me.
Okie dokie. Well, you heard that, everybody, and y'all have a good night. I'm gonna get Les off here because I know he's going to be a busy man the next couple of days. So, everyone have a good night, and I'll figure something out for a show here later in the week. But
all right.
Okay. Hey, Mason. Hey, you guys have a good night. I'll see you Saturday.
All righty, we'll see you.
Good night.
Bye.